Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us Across the Fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. There is good news and bad news when it comes to the state of mental health in our country today. The good news is that society is more open to talking about and dealing with mental health issues. The bad news is that the rate of mental health problems, including depression and anxiety, have increased steadily over the past decade. Young people are amongst those most at risk, and that's where 4-H program is helping. Realizing that mental health and well-being are increasingly important issues and seeing the need to provide teens with skills to help them address challenges, UVM Extension's Margaret Cohn created the 4-H Health and Wellness program. Across the Fence's Ben Willis sat down with Margaret to discuss teen mental health and her upcoming event, the 4-H Health Heroes Showcase.
4-H Health Heroes is a program that I started thinking about last year, recognizing the really mental health crisis that youth are facing, which is something that we should all be focused on to take care of our youth. So looking at our programming in 4-H, all of our programming really does support youth mental health. We do positive youth development, but I wanted to focus on something very explicitly that is focusing on health and well-being for youth.
So Margaret, what inspired you to create this program?
Well, I had been working with UVM college students for a long time and recognizing that students are facing really high levels of anxiety and stress, and recognizing that different people have different toolboxes that they go to and use to help themselves deal with that. And now working with younger youth, I really wanted to provide a place where youth can learn these skills that we know can really help. It is a way to start early to help youth deal with the many stressors that they face in life.
You have an event coming up, the 4-H Health Heroes Showcase.
Yes, so it's a first-time event. It's modeled on our STEM showcase, which we've done in the past. And so it's a very experiential, hands-on learning where our teen health and wellness ambassadors are going to present their unique programs that they created and based on their own passion and interests. So some students are focused on sports nutrition, others are doing mindfulness, another student is doing self-advocacy and talking about how youth can speak up for themselves. The teens have been through many hours of training, and then they've on their own come up with the programs that they are going to be presenting. So yes, it's they've been working since September on the programs and on the training. So they're going to be doing their hands-on programs, and the youth who attend will be able to pick which ones they want to go to. They'll be able to go to several. We'll be doing a healthy snack in the middle, just to focus on what can we do for ourselves that can enhance our health and well-being. So that's what the whole event is about, and it is meant to be fun and hands-on.
Who should be attending this event, and what are you hoping that they will take away from attending?
Well, it's open to youth who are age 8 to 15, so it's kind of a wide range, but we are making it really fun, so the younger youth can sort of see where they can get benefit from it through a lens of just having fun with it. And then older youth will understand kind of what the connection is to mental health. And what I'm hoping they'll walk away with is a toolkit of things that they can use anytime, any day. They're very accessible, easy things that youth can use to enhance their mental health. So on a day-to-day basis, when they're, for example, feeling particularly anxious or stressed or angry, they can remember, oh, right, I can go back to this mindfulness technique or this breathing technique that I learned at the Health Heroes Showcase. So very practical.
Why do you feel that events like this are so valuable for young people to participate in?
Well, for one, I think it's recognizing that we are facing a difficult time for youth with mental health challenges. All of us are facing it. There's a big time of uncertainty, so I feel that for those of us in particular working with youth, working in positive youth development, we need to provide ways for youth to learn how to manage these really strong emotions, these stressors that they're facing. So I feel like it's a necessity for us to do programs like this where we're helping youth learn tools. It's pretty direct from things that we know work to helping youth learn what those are. And we can make it fun, we can make it interactive so that it's not a burden on the youth, but it is an opportunity. So that's what I think is super important about these events.
The 4-H Health Heroes Showcase will take place Saturday, March 25th from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. in the Waterman Building at UVM. This is a free event open to youth ages 8 to 18. Parents and guardians are welcome to attend. For more information and to register, check the 4-H website at uvm.edu/extension/youth or call 802-651-8434 extension 505. The calendar says it's still winter, but the official arrival of spring is only a few days away. Spring will bring melting snow, which in turn will bring torrents of water runoff. And as water runs off, it picks up everything from cigarette butts to motor oil. It becomes a type of storm water. In our next segment, the UVM Lake Champlain Sea Grant Institute looks at why storm water is a problem and what we can do as individuals to make a difference.
Lake Champlain is an extraordinary natural resource nestled between New York, Vermont, and Quebec. But the lake and its tributaries are being negatively affected by human activities on the land. Lake Champlain Sea Grant works to develop and share science-based information to improve the environment and economy of the Lake Champlain Basin.
Rain falls on the land. It can do many good things, but it can also cause problems. Nature is very good at slowing down the rainfall flow, spreading it out, and soaking it into the ground. This reduces the heavy volumes of water that can cause erosion and scouring and also transport pollutants into our streams and lakes.
Vegetation is very good at filtering out pollutants. Soils can act as a sponge to soak up some of the rain to reduce the volume of water that reaches our streams. But in our cities and neighborhoods, there are a lot of impervious surfaces that don't soak up rainfall. Water flows very quickly over these hard surfaces and picks up pollutants such as oil drippings and sediment and carries them quickly to our streams and rivers. Because less rainfall soaks into the soil, heavier flows can cause erosion and sedimentation in streams and lakes, which can damage their health.
A great way to manage stormwater in our communities is to bring the wisdom of nature into our towns. These nature-based solutions are collectively called green infrastructure, so let's define that term.
In terms of a definition, green can be thought of as nature-based solutions like what we find in the natural world, while infrastructure is the underlying support system in our communities for things like water supply or transportation. Therefore, green infrastructure brings these natural systems back into our built environment.
A great way to manage stormwater is to incorporate green infrastructure, which uses three primary solutions. The first is the ability of healthy soil to act like a sponge to soak up rainwater and therefore reduce the volume of water that flows over the landscape and getting into streams and rivers. A second strategy is how vegetation acts as a filter to remove pollutants and debris and also spread that flow out to reduce the impact of that water flowing on the land. A third strategy is the ability of plants to drink up water and pump that moisture into the atmosphere in a process called evapotranspiration. Collectively, these nature-based solutions and strategies help reduce the amount of pollutants that flow from our land into our water bodies and reduce the volume of water that can cause scouring and erosion.
Let's look at some examples of green infrastructure. One of the simplest ways is to keep the grass in your lawn taller. Taller grass has longer roots that help the soil act like a sponge. Even better, are there places in your yard that you can mow less frequently to let your grass grow taller, such as a pasture?
Ditches and water pathways are great candidates for mowing less to encourage taller plants. You can even plant these spaces with wildflowers and other landscape plants for beauty and effect.
And we are all familiar with the benefits of trees. In terms of stormwater, trees help break up the soil to encourage water to infiltrate and to take up large amounts of water. This reduces the amount of stormwater that reaches streams and other waterways. Other very helpful types of green infrastructure are rain gardens and bioretention systems. These are depressions that temporarily hold stormwater and release it slowly. This allows water to soak into the ground without running off. They are often planted with native vegetation and can look beautiful.
Let's not forget our natural green infrastructure: forests, wetlands, and floodplains. Each of these is a workhorse for water quality, slowing the rainfall flow, spreading it out, soaking it in, and filtering pollutants.
Besides reducing the impact of stormwater, green infrastructure also has many additional benefits for us. They are beautiful elements in our neighborhoods and cities. They provide ecosystem services such as food for pollinators, habitat for birds and wildlife, and trees can provide shading, cooling, and improved air quality.
Lake Champlain is a natural treasure. We all have a part to play in protecting it and the waters that drain to it, now and into the future, including understanding and supporting the use of green stormwater infrastructure at our homes and in our neighborhoods and communities. This video was produced by Lake Champlain Sea Grant, a partnership among the University of Vermont, SUNY Plattsburgh, and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. To learn more about Lake Champlain Sea Grant and to see other videos in this series, please visit our website.
Our thanks to the UVM Lake Champlain Sea Grant Institute. And once again, thank you for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. Stay well.